Faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen. Our second reading, the letter to the Hebrews, the whole reading, the whole 11th chapter where the reading is taken from is all about faith, right? And we see this theme through the other readings as well, through the gospel, the first reading, the responsorial psalm, faith. I once saw Miracle on 34th Street, the famous Christmas movie, and one of the lines really stuck out to me, not for the right reasons, but because it got what faith is completely wrong. It said that faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. And I think that understanding of faith is pretty widespread in our culture, in our country, just everywhere at this point in time, right? That faith is blind. It doesn't use reason, common sense. We just kind of have to white knuckle, what we're told to believe and, just believe it. Just believe it because I said so or because the church said so. And, if we've been asking for something for God, we believe in God or, whatever, and we don't get it, or if something tragic or sorrowful happens, that can really test our faith. And we, might choose not to believe anymore. This, notion that Catholicism is just a bunch of hard rules to follow and a bunch of tough teachings to accept, it is pretty entrenched, I think, in just the culture that we live in. We believe because the church says that we have to. And there's no reason that goes with it. It's just kind of blind. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. Our understanding of faith, as seen in the letter to the Hebrews, is completely opposite. Right? The realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen. What is faith? What do we believe that faith is? What does it mean to believe? Right? It's not just blind acceptance. The whole 11th chapter to the letter to the Hebrews details, some of these heroes from the Old Testament. It focuses on Abraham in the reading today, but it also touches on the example of Noah, of Abel, of Moses, of Joseph, of Jacob, of Isaac, and how they believed. The Catechism says that to believe means two things: to the person and to the truth. Like, we believe in the person that is telling us, that is revealing to us something, and therefore we believe what's being revealed. We believe the truth because we believe the person who bears witness to the truth. Faith is a personal adherence or attachment or commitment, first and foremost, to God, to the one who reveals the truth, and then we believe the truth that he reveals. It's a gift of God, right? We can't white knuckle it. We can't just blindly accept it on our own initiative. We have to be given the gift of faith. It is a gift that comes from God. It's not something that we can just conjure up on our own. We can't manufacture it, right? And even the act of asking for the gift of faith is a gift from God and in and of itself. That's a grace. We can't choose God first. God chooses us first, gives us the gift of faith to believe in him and his message. Pope Benedict XVI once said that faith, it's not a mere intellectual assent. It's not just all the rules. It's not just all the teachings. It is an act in which I entrust myself freely to a God who is Father and who loves me. First and foremost, it's entrusting ourselves to the Father who loves us. It's not our own initiative. It's not just a mental exercise where I pick and choose, which teachings make sense and which ones don't, right? Because if we don't have that first movement of trusting in God, then it's very easy to distrust the content of the faith, all the teachings and doctrines and dogmas that we believe in. If we don't first have that personal commitment, entrustment, adherence to the Father, it's very easy to drift and to pick and choose what we believe. It is an act, a choice, a response to the gift and grace of God to believe in him and what he has revealed because he's the one revealing it. We assent to the content of the faith because of an adherence or entrustment to our Father in heaven. And we have two perfect examples to turn to what this looks like. Okay, first, we have Abraham, who, again, the second reading focuses on him because his example of faith, he's held up as the model of faith for the entire Old Testament, the entire time leading up to the time of Christ and what it meant to believe. He was a man who at the age of 75 was invited by the Lord God to leave his comfortable position, his comfortable home, go to a land that he did not know, that he had never been there before, he didn't know the way, to take his wife, who was also 75, to this small portion of land, and that also, not just that, but that God would gift them a child, even though they were way past childbearing years. And Abraham did the crazy thing, and he actually went. Like, he actually left everything, and he journeyed to this unknown land past childbearing years, because he trusted that God was good, that God would take care of him, and that beyond his understanding, this would happen. He believed because of his commitment to God. And then, when he actually got there, God delivered. God delivered Isaac, his son. And then only then, because the Father delivered on this promise, he was able to, reason to the point at the end of the letter to the Hebrews today, the second reading, God asks him to make the ultimate sacrifice of his son to show his love to the Father. And it says that Abraham reasoned that he could do this because God would raise him from the dead, because God promised, I will give you many descendants. You'll be the father of many nations through Isaac. Abraham's faith in God was so strong that he believed that God would even raise his son from the dead to give him the inheritance and the life that he had promised originally. And we know that at the last moment, the Passover happened where God didn't ask that ultimate sacrifice from Abraham's son, but he provided his own son, Jesus. Raised him from the dead to give us the inheritance and the life that he had promised Abraham. The second example, I think, is Mary, right? The Blessed Virgin. Her example of faith was strengthened all throughout her life with Jesus because she came to know the Lord face to face, right? She was blessed among women because she received the gift of Jesus, of raising Jesus as, his mother. And all the events of Jesus' life just strengthened her faith, one after the other, miracle after miracle, teaching after teaching, all the way to the foot of the cross. And we see the same faith, that her faith never wavered. She stayed there at the foot of the cross, went to the burial tomb, but believed, right, that God would raise Jesus from the dead because Jesus said so. On the third day, he rose from the dead. Her faith was rewarded. She knew Jesus better than anyone else, and it was that personal adherence first and foremost that led to the acceptance of everything else that he revealed. To believe that God is who he says he is, and to believe in what he has revealed, it takes the gift of faith. Right? If we trust God, everything else falls into place. That's easier said than done. I understand that. I struggle with that every day. Like, do I really trust this time that God will provide? Do I really trust in this sorrowful situation that God is present and working? The only thing that keeps us going is knowing that the one who communicates this message of love and mercy and truth is good, that God is a good Father who knows us personally, individually, and is there working and present even when it seems like maybe he's not. And our experience of seeing him come through time and again only strengthens our faith. We can only believe in the content of the faith and its fullness, right? No matter how challenging the individual teaching might be, because we've been convinced of his presence and love for each one of us personally. So, as we come to the Eucharist, let us beg for a deeper gift of faith through a deeper encounter of his mercy and his personal attention and love for each one of us as Father. Faith is not believing in things because we have to, or even when common sense tells us not to. It is trusting the message of the gospel because, first and foremost, we trust the person giving us the message.